Alright, legends, welcome back to the show. We're getting into Tales of the Unexpected one more time. This is Series 1, Episode 2. It's entitled Mrs Bixby and the Colonel's Coat. Now, this episode here just has, you know, bad people all around. Just the worst sort of people. Very amusing ending. It was one of these episodes where you want to see this person tripping up on what she's trying to do, and the way that it happens is very poetic. Essentially, the story is there's a New York dentist and his wife, older couple. He's off working all the time, doing all the overtime, working late all the time. She's got all this extra spare time in her hands. Clearly not a happy relationship from the very opening of the episode. She is faithfully going off to visit an ailing aunt every couple of months. Say 4 times a year she goes to visit for a weekend to look after this aunt. But basically, she's not. She's having an affair with a colonel, and that's what she's doing. Every 3 months or so, 4 times a year, she disappears for a long and dirty weekend with this colonel. And yes, the dentist husband doesn't know anything about it. So it stars Michael Hordon and Julie Harris. She's great in this episode. She, in this visit with the colonel, is, I can't believe I'm going to have to wait another few months before we can meet each other again. And his driver takes her to the airport, and there's a gift that the driver has. It's been given to him to give to her from the colonel. It's an expensive mink coat, and a letter saying that he has decided to end the relationship. And it is what it is. We said at the start it would be just, will come and go as we please, and there'd been nothing serious throughout it, but he's decided to move on, and this is a parting gift for Annie. Suggests in the letter, you can tell your husband that your aunt gave you this coat for as a thank you for looking after her, sort of thing. So he's trying to give her an excuse to keep this thing. So she wants to keep the coat. She is greedy, bad person, doesn't care about her husband in the slightest. So she comes up with the idea. She's like, obviously this aunt couldn't afford something as extravagant as this coat, but I want to keep it. So on her way back home, she gets the taxi driver to stop at a pawn shop she sees in the corner. So she goes in there, pawns the coat, and gets him to give the stub without the name and an address or something. It's just how much it's worth and whatnot. So she's trying to set it up in a way that she can go to the husband and say, look, I found this. There's no proof of ownership here. I can go and collect this here, whatever it is. I don't know. I just found this in the back seat of the taxi cab on the way back home. And the husband is like, that's a fantastic idea, but I'm going to go and get it for you, sort of a thing. So she lets him go to get this the following day. He calls her up and he's like, you'll never guess what it was. She's like, trying to give all these guesses over the phone. She knows clearly that it's this mink coat, 3/4 length, just loads of money, just an expensive, fancy coat. And she's making all these guesses, clearly trying to get it wrong each time, but she says, I'm going to come down to your office here to find out what it is. So she's excited that she's getting her coat. She's gotten away with everything. And when she gets there, the guy, her husband, says, it was an expensive ticket, 50 quid she had pawned it for, so he had to pay that to get it back. But he says, you're going to absolutely love it. So she does get a mink, but it's not the coat. It's one of these little ones that just goes around the neck, sort of like the scarf sort of thing. She is devastated that it's not the coat that the colonel had given her, but clearly she says that, this guy in the pawn shop has done us. He's taken the expensive coat and given something of less value in place of it. So she's raging, not happy at all. Devastated, she goes to leave the office with her new little scarf sort of a thing. And as she's getting on to the elevator to leave the dentist office, the secretary from the dentist office walks onto the elevator and she's wearing the coat. At the end of the episode, hits her like a ton of bricks. Her husband has also been having an affair with a secretary behind her back, and there's nothing in this scenario that she can say or do at this point, because if she does, she has to admit her own disgusting behaviour. This is a great series. I absolutely love it. You know, some of these episodes are just so well done. I should have given a spoiler warning at the beginning of this episode, but if you've known this channel for any length of time, I'm going to ruin everything for you. So, Tales of the Unexpected, absolutely great. Having a great time with it. And the next episode in the series is fantastic. I've actually watched a couple ahead at this point. So, come back for the next Tales of the Unexpected review.